night long. Words that love singing a song. Pillow talk, pillow talk. Lying next to you, sharing my heart, my boo. Feet touching, holding hands. Whatever you're feeling, I don't demand. Yeah, open up, share with me. No limits or boundaries. Baby, it's only we. I got you and you got me. Come on, baby, yeah, let's be free. Pillow talk, pillow talk. Yeah, I am yours and you are mine. Yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Breakfast with the Greenes. We're your host. I'm James Greene, and this is my lovely wife, Cynthia, and we are your marriage and relationship visionary strategists.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It's so exciting to see you guys today. Oh, God, did y'all have a great Thanksgiving?
Right. We just pray that everyone had a great and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I feel like yesterday was Thanksgiving. I mean, it's like, it's still the holiday. So, you guys, if you had turkey for Thanksgiving, put a T in the chat.
Everybody had it.
Everybody didn't have turkey. Everybody don't like turkey. But if you had turkey for Thanksgiving, put a T in the chat. And so it means turkey. You had turkey day. All right, you guys. So we hope you guys are still having a great holiday weekend.
And if you're not on, you could be out shopping for Black Friday, because we know this is the time where actually people are starting to prepare for Christmas. You know, it always seems that after Thanksgiving, that's when everybody starts going out like, okay, now I have to do my Christmas shopping. Some people go out this weekend to start looking for a tree. And I know they're talking about trees, the prices are going up. The trees there's a shortage in Christmas trees. Those of you that actually like to purchase a real tree. So this is that time of season. This is that time of season, not only for Thanksgiving, but being thankful. Being thankful for the things that are going on in your life. Thankful for the things that, happen in your life. We know sometimes tragedies happen, but there's always a positive spin on that. There's always something to be thankful for. And that's what Thanksgiving is all about, being thankful. And we truly are thankful that we're able to come and share every message we have to share with you, that we don't take that for granted.
Which reminds me, share, and share again. Even if you're watching the replay, hit the share button, you guys. I'm telling you, people need the stuff we're talking about. Today, we're going to talk about, a hot topic that we can't believe that couples actually feel this way. So y'all hear us talking about these things and y'all think we're just talking sometimes just because that's a marriage topic. But no, a lot of these topics we talk about is because we encounter them when we're coaching other couples, and this is their mentality. So we're trying to help couples with their mentality. It's a mindset shift. It's the way they're thinking. It's the way they've always done things. So we're actually trying to help them shift the atmosphere in their relationship and in their home.
And isn't this still
National Appreciation
Month, right?
Yes.
So, going with that theme of National Appreciation Month, appreciating your spouse. What we're going to talk about today is
why should you not show your spouse appreciation, and what does that really mean?
Right.
Yes.
And we're going to add in there about affirming your spouse, because when, not only do you appreciate them, you should reaffirm that appreciation to them. Reaffirm that the things they do, how they are, you appreciate that. A lot of times we just take that for granted. We don't talk about, how you appreciate the things they do or what they represent, or maybe how they help. We talk about having a helpmeet. A lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't show that appreciation. And a lot of people don't reaffirm that appreciation. And sometimes when you take it for granted, it could turn into a different direction where you may feel that you're taken for granted and you're not appreciated. That's why we always talk about this month in November, how you need to not only appreciate them, but reaffirm and show them and let them know that you appreciate them.
Right, because when we're talking about appreciating your spouse, we're not just talking about saying thank you.
Right.
We're talking about affirming them, encouraging them, and providing them emotional support. So those are the three things we're focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you some solid and true tips and advice and things that you can do right now that can shift the atmosphere in your marriage, shift the atmosphere in your relationship, even if you're upset with your spouse. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Let's get with the program. That was in my my thing that I sent out today too. Get with the program. There's nothing wrong with being positive. Do y'all know we actually talked to a couple, and the husband said he thought happiness went out the window once you got married. Like he didn't think he's supposed to have fun in his marriage anymore.
And the key to that is that no, when you get married, that is actually when the fun is supposed to begin. Because
exactly.
all this time when you date, you're trying to get them to notice you. You're trying to get them to see what you have in common. You're trying to get them to be, draw closer to you so you can become one. But once you do all that work, right? And trust me, dating can be work. Because now you want to get to know the person. You want them to get to know you. You want to know where you're going. You want to know what the future may hold. But when you get married, that's when all that work is put into play. You done did all that work. Now it's time. And I know they say marriage is work, but it's fun work. And it can be fun work. But that's when the fun begins. When you get married and you start doing that work, having fun is just a byproduct of that work you're doing, that work you're putting in.
But it can always be fun.
Right.
And I want to say, it is supposed to be fun. I want to say something to what you said. When you become married, you become one. So that means when you became one, you became a non-fun person. You're no longer fun.
Right.
Your spouse is no longer fun. Like James said, when you're dating, yes, you're doing fun things, but it's to find out what you have in common, find out what they like, show them what you like. You're doing things together. But once you get married, then now you know what each other like. You can continue. You should continue to do those fun things. It doesn't stop. The apple doesn't stop because you said I do. That's when it should all begin.
That's when it starts.
Yes.
Exactly.
So let's just talk about showing your spouse appreciation. Well, we know the first way you show your spouse appreciation is what we naturally think of when we hear the words appreciate, which is to just simply say thank you. To just simply say thank you when they do something for you. Just every now and then. You don't have to thank them for every little thing, but a thank you goes a long way. We talked about tit for tat last week. And tit for tat is like if they do something nice for you, you do something nice for them.
And all you're doing there is just building the love, like we said, because now you're trying to say, like I always say, outlove each other. So if they do something, you're doing something to maybe top them. And when you show that love, you're trying to just outlove each other, and it'll bring you closer together and allows you to build that bond of love and have that whole abundance of love between the two of you. But like Cynthia said, when you say, not only say thank you, that's when you can say, I really appreciate you. Since, and it takes it a step further than just saying thank you, that I appreciate what you do for me. I appreciate the way you do what you do. Babe, I just appreciate you cooking dinner for me all the time. Those sort of things. Be specific. And that is the key. When you say you appreciate them, be specific.
Hold on a minute. And see, when he said that, it encourages me to continue cooking for him. Because sometimes I don't feel like cooking. I don't want to cook. But if I know he appreciates it.
And it makes the person feel appreciated.
That's right.
For the things they do. That's why I always say, when you say thank you, what are you thanking them for? Say it. Expound on it. Like say, baby, I appreciate you. And that'll make them say, well, what do you appreciate? So don't wait for them to say, what do you appreciate? Say it. I appreciate that you do this. I appreciate you going to the store and buying the groceries.
Well, when I told you I said, baby, I appreciate you. You didn't give me a chance to finish. You're like, for what?
And that's my fault, where I should have gave her a chance to finish on what she appreciates you for. Like you can say, babe, I appreciate you making sure the house is secure when we go to bed at night.
I do appreciate that. I do. My husband goes around check every window, every door. He's looking in each room to make sure stuff is turned off or on. No, but it's a security thing. He makes sure he sets the alarm every night. My daughter and I, we don't have to worry about it because we know he's going to take care of it. So we're good. And he even said, he's like, I don't know why I do it, but honey,
I said that.
It's a good thing. he says, but you say that all the time. I don't know why I do it, but it's a good thing because there has times he's checked the door to the back door out to the patio. I mean the deck, and I didn't lock it. There's a time he came in the kitchen and I ain't turned the oven off all night. So I think it's a good thing that he checks everything because we all make mistakes. We all forget. And let me just be honest. I've been a little forgetful lately.
But when you have that helpmate, that's what
helpmate, yes, he's my helpmate, y'all.
He covers you back. You know, and we talk about, baby, I got you covered.
Okay.
You know, I'm covering your back. So if you may forget something and your spouse comes along and checks it and say, baby, you may have forgot this, well, I took care of it. That shows they got your back. Mm-hmm. You know, and Cynthia talks about it's that emotional, you know, and I always say
that's the emotional support when you got your spouse's back. That was number 3, but we'll make it number 1 right now. Okay. I'm sorry, number 2, because we already talked about saying thank you. And no, actually, number 2 was like showing appreciation, like the tit for tat we talked about last week. And number 3 is the emotional support. So if your spouse, you know your spouse got your back, you're more apt to share with them. Mm-hmm. So if your spouse shares with them, the only emotional support you got to get them is to just affirm them, baby, I got your back. Baby, I understand.
And that is so good, baby, because when you think about affirmation and being affirmative, all that is emotional support and encouragement.
That's
all you're doing is not only supporting them, but you're encouraging them. Mm-hmm. And see, and when you lead into that encouragement, that draws you closer together because now you're encouraged. Not only they're giving you words of encouragement and they're supporting you and they have your back, but that makes you feel like encouraged to do something for them. And like, you know, babe, you know, I thank you. You know, that showed me you have my back. That shows me you care.
And it shows that you're taking your time to listen to me, to understand. And I'm telling you, your spouse will open up more and more if they just realize that you got their back when they want to share. You know, James shares with stuff with me on his job all the time. And I'd be like, I don't know what he's talking all this technical stuff, but I listen because he needs to talk to somebody and get off his chest. I'd rather him talk to me than go talk to a homegirl down the street, you know?
Right. And it's funny, baby, you talk about that. When you talk about support, you know, and I always say couples need to support their spouse, not only emotionally, what we're talking about, but physically, mentally, and spiritually. But this is just the emotional part we're talking about because, you know, emotions are a feeling. You know, a lot of times when you have emotions, you have a feeling. So what do you want? You want that feeling to be positive. You want that feeling to be like, you know, I feel a certain way towards you. But the only way to be positive is to affirm them. It's through affirmation. Because when you talk about emotional, you talk about a feeling, and then what feeling are they actually feeling? You want them to feel positive. You want them to feel love. You want them to feel a sign of gratitude, so to speak. So the only way to do that is to affirm them. Affirm them builds up your emotions for that positive emotion that allows it to spill over onto you.
Good. Now he sound all technical. So they're going to talk about 3 ways that you can affirm your spouse. Which the first one is to speak life into them.
Say those words. Speak not only that, you know, you want to affirm them, but say it. What do you appreciate? Say, I appreciate you.
Speaking life into them is like speaking positive over their life. Like, baby, I see you're working on your health. Oh, baby, you're looking really good. And like you're speaking life into them. Baby, you can do this. Right. That's like encouraging them, you know, like, you know, baby, you got this.
And I like that because what she's saying, because when you speak affirmation and you're affirmative, it speaks to who you are. It speaks to who you are as a person.
That's right.
You know, and who are you as a person? A loving husband, a loving wife, a loving father, a loving mother. It speaks to who you are. So when you affirm them and you speak life into them, like Cynthia was just saying, that shows that who you are. That shows that you're supportive. That shows you're caring. That shows you're there. That shows that, you know, and it makes the other person feel, you know what? This is the right person for me. Because they not only affirm me, they speak it. They make me feel loved. And it's that emotional. They make me feel.
I do that?
Yes, you do. And it makes you feel good inside and all warm inside because all they're doing is affirming their love to you through words and through actions. And it's your responsibility to let them know that them actions that they're showing, you need to affirm them and let them know that you appreciate the actions that they're doing for you to make you feel loved. And when you respond to that way, that lets them know that you do love that action.
Yes, and the other way is to speak blessings over your spouse. Oh my gosh, baby, you are blessed, a mighty man of God. You are blessed to be a blessing to others, honey. Honey, you are a blessing in this world of marriage. Like you got it going on, like you know what to do and say it to help couples. You're a blessing you're blessed to be a blessing. So speak blessings over your spouse. Mm-hmm. Baby, you are rich. You are the best husband in this earth, Lord. Like speak blessings over them, encourage them that and to be in all that they are called to be. That's another way of affirming them.
And I like that what you said, baby, because when you get married, it talks about that it's truly a blessing to have someone there with you and for you. Mm-hmm. That's a blessing to have a spouse that encourages you, that builds you up, that speaks life, that's affirmative, all of that. So when you talk about a blessing, it's a blessing just to have that. So why not, since you're blessed, why not be a blessing? Let them know that you're blessed to have them in your life. Let them know you're blessed to have them do the things they do for you.
And when you're speaking blessings over your spouse, the Bible says, speak those things that be not as though they are. So you can speak life into them and speak blessings into them to help them to walk into what they're called to do. Like, baby, I see you successful. Baby, I see you with that job you've been dreaming about. Baby, I envision you, walking into your destiny, your calling. Like what you speak life into it, and it helps you to create what it is that you envision, what you see.
And she hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Affirmative creates what you speak.
Okay.
Let me repeat that. Affirmation, being affirmative, it creates what you speak. So all those things that Cynthia was saying that you're speaking life into them, you're creating something. You're creating that in them. Not only are you putting it out there into the atmosphere, but you're creating something. You're creating an atmosphere. You're creating a feeling. You're setting the tone.
And y'all, a lot of this stuff we're saying, speak it to yourself too. Encourage
Speak
yourself.
Over your life.
Affirm yourself.
Ain't that
you can't affirm somebody. Yeah, it sure is. You can't affirm somebody and speak life into them if you don't have no life in your own self, right? So you got to have some life in your own self and make sure that you're encouraged and that you are growing each and every day. Y'all, it doesn't make any sense for somebody to feel like that they can't be happy in their marriage. They can't have fun in their marriage.
Right.
Like life is just all about going to work and coming home and taking care of the kids. Like a lot of people, especially with kids, think that they can't enjoy life anymore. Like that part of life is over, and it's not. You can find a way if you plan well in advance. If you don't have nobody to watch your kids, pray to God and ask God to send you the perfect babysitter. Not just a babysitter, but the perfect babysitter that he designed specifically to care and love and watch over your children and support them and encourage them the way that you do.
Right.
And he will send that person. Because I believe everybody deserves to have someone to watch their kids so that they can go out and have a good time without the kids. Because you need time to connect and bond with your spouse. And so many times we talk to people with small kids, but we don't have anybody to watch our kids. Our kids are too much to handle. No, they're not. God got somebody that is blessed and anointed.
Because all you're doing is creating what you speak. So all those things that Cindy was saying about speaking it, all you're doing is creating something. You're creating what you speak.
Like, what do you see for your spouse? Like when we're talking about speaking life over your spouse, affirming your spouse, encouraging your spouse, see, you could see some things in your spouse that they don't see in themselves.
Right.
So you can speak over your spouse what you see in them. Like I used to tell James all the time, man, honey, you are a leader of men. Like men are drawn to you. They're called to you. And you can speak word and life into men because of where you came from and where you are now. Like God has showed you and anointed you to speak life into men. He's anointed you and appointed you. That's why he cleaned you up and turned your life around to be who you are today. Like I speak that into him.
Speak that into my life.
And you know what's so interesting? When we were on our call with our couples academy, right? The In Love and Loving It Academy. one of the guys said, James, do you ever just have do you have something that's like just for the men? And James like, no, not really like that. And he's like, well, can you think we could just have a call like maybe once a month with just the men? And then when we got off the phone, I said, see, honey, I told you, you are called to men. Men want to hear your voice. You have something to say. They look up to you. They feel like you have wisdom in that area. So that we started that a little bit last year, but we're going to do that more this year.
And just what we're saying, what she was speaking, it creates who you are.
That's right.
So her speaking that into my life is creating who I am, and it's just putting it out there that maybe here's something I need to do, or here's something we need to do, or we need to start, say as a couple, as a family, as whatever the case may be, because you're speaking it and you need to create it.
That's right.
And what you speak creates.
It becomes, because
exactly.
by me saying that to him, he was invited to speak on stages over the years. Men had invited him to speak on their platform because they know he was called to men. They knew he had something to say to men. He was an encourager. So that's super important that you speak life into your spouse, that you encourage your spouse, that when you see something in them, you speak it so that it will help draw it out of them. That's so good, babe. Thank you, babe. So all of these things too, the other one is just showing them compassion. When you speak life into your spouse, you are showing them compassion. Right. That's like number 5 or 6. Like we've done some, I forgot to give y'all numbers, but I know some people like to keep a number and keep a tab and, just write them all down. You can still go back and study them. Because y'all, when we talk about this stuff, you really do need to take notes. Because when we're coaching couples and we've told them something on the phone, like we're keeping notes. So next time we go on the phone and we ask you about it, you don't remember it. Like you didn't take notes because you should have been using those notes throughout the week, because you wouldn't have had that argument that you had you referred back to what you learned on the call with James and Cynthia, right? But when you are speaking life into your spouse, another way to do it is to just show them compassion. Right. When they share something that may have been hurtful to them or sad to them, or, just share, how somebody just said something to them they didn't like. Just show them compassion just by listening, or, babe, I'm sorry that happened to you. Because you don't always have to try to fix it, man. That's right.
Sometimes you're just here to listen.
Yes.
And the key to that is that, we always talk about, like Cindy said, showing compassion. It's good to just build your spouse up. I mean, come on. We always talk about edification. When you reaffirm the things we've been talking about, all you're doing is edifying your spouse. You're building them up. You're lifting them up. You're encouraging them. Because let me tell you, it's so easy to tear somebody down. That is so easy to talk negative. Because come on, let's be honest. This world that we live in is a lot of negativity. I mean, everything you see seems to be negative. Yes. Yeah. So it's so easy to look at the negative in things. It's so easy to tear somebody down. It's so easy to talk about somebody. They talk about haters. It's easy to be a hater. It's easy to tear somebody down because you look at like, why are they doing that? That ain't gonna work. I don't know why they're doing that. Who told them they could do that? Whatever the case may be. It's so easy, but it's harder to build somebody up. So it's harder to edify somebody because when you edify,
not hard. People make it hard.
Right?
It's not hard.
But when you edify your spouse or even somebody, a loved one, all you're doing is encouraging them and building them up. You're having them look at the positive, and that's what you want to do with your spouse. When we talk about affirmation for your spouse, when we talk about appreciation, spousal appreciation month or whatever the case may be, it's about building them up. Letting them know not only that you care, not only that you appreciate it, but you're pouring into them, and that's the thing. Sometimes you need to pour into your spouse because you always can't run on empty. You always can't pour out, and never have somebody pour into you.
Right, y'all. So many times we just focus on the negative. We complain about what our spouse don't do. But what about the things that we do? I mean, if your spouse does something that always get on your nerves, you're going to discount all the good that they do because of that one thing. And you're ready to walk away from the marriage because they always do such and such. Nobody always does. They might do it more than you want them to do it, but they always do it. That means they're doing it every day, all the time.
And it makes me think of, say you're a couple and 7 days a week, 6 days is perfect. I mean, they come home, you do a lot of things together, you're enjoying each other's company, you're speaking affirmations, you're being positive, But then that seventh day, they do something wrong, they do something bad. Now all of a sudden, if you say, well, how's your week? It wasn't that good. They didn't come home, or they didn't do this, or they didn't do that. But you forgot about the other 6 days. All you're focused on is that one day. What about the other 6 days that y'all had a great time, that y'all went out and did things together, that y'all spent time together, that y'all spoke into each other's lives, that you built each other up, that you had a great time? 6 days out of 7. One day, okay, it may have been a slip up. One day they may have forgot something. They may have forgot to come home and y'all were supposed to go out and do something, whatever the case may be. But you're focused on that one day and not the other 6 days where everything was gravy. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. You can't take that one little mishap, that one little step, and make it the big thing that you focus on. Because we say nobody's perfect, but you can't focus on those imperfections, because then you can't truly get everything that God has for your marriage, that He has for your relationship, because you're focused on that one mishap, that one slip up, and you're forgetting about all those other great things that they've done.
Oh my gosh, that's so good, you guys. So we talked about affirming your spouse through speaking life into them, by encouraging them.
Words of affirmation.
Yes, by speaking blessings over them, showing them compassion, encouraging them in every area of their life. And then also just being supportive, having a good listening ear.
And you know what? I like that when you talk about supportive. That goes with them 6 days. Maybe things are all good, and that one day may have been a slip up. But if you're supportive and say, you know, babe, we had 6 great days, and I know you may have forgot this one day, and I focused on that one little mishap, and I forgot all about the other 6 days. It happens, but you can't focus on that. You have to look at the positive.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. If you focus more on the positive and not on the negative, your relationship or your marriage will be a whole lot greater, because now you're speaking words.
Go to another level.
Right. Because now you're speaking words of affirmation. Now you're showing them how you feel. You're speaking love. You're speaking blessings. You're doing all those things, and you're not focusing on that one little mistake or that one little mishap that may have happened.
Y'all, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, couples will focus on that one fault that their spouse has and forget that they wash the car, clean, put gas in the car, you know.
Make sure your tire pressure sensor is getting cold. All those things.
Help around the house, help with the kids.
Right.
But because they come home too late.
Or they forgot that you were supposed to go to an event one day. They may have forgot. They may have been working late. They could have been had a meeting or something could have happened.
And yes, you're teed off. You are, one of my favorite words, you're pissed.
But you're focusing on that one incident and not on all the other good things they did throughout the week.
What could you do differently? Okay, how can they make it up to you? Or you think, how can I make it up to you? What can I do to make it up?
And the key is that they may have forgot and came home and said, baby, I am so sorry. I was working and I actually just forgot. Please forgive me. They're apologizing.
And because I remember times when Jay and I was supposed to go somewhere, and when I tell them, okay, babe, are you ready to go? Or, don't forget we're going to such a, why did you remind me yesterday? I don't feel like it now. I ain't going. Like, I'm just not going.
Because I forgot, and now I'm not even in the mood.
And I didn't remind him, or he didn't remind himself, and now he's not in the mood. And I'm a little ticked. I got several choices. I can either go by myself. I can even say, try to encourage him and say, babe, well, we got 2 hours. Can you just, take a nap and then, get up and get refreshed and let's go? Or I can stay home with him and we do something else. Or, he promises that one of those things that he really doesn't like to ever go to, that next time that comes around, I'll go with you. Like, you can make some compromises to make things. Then I like that, because like there's some places I be wanting him to go that I know he don't want to go. But because of this incident,
I promise, because of that incident, I say I'll make it up to you, and I'll go to the next event that you would like me to go to with you.
Yes.
Even though I won't want to, I will go, because that's a promise I made after the last incident. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about you don't have to focus on those little things like that. And then you're mad for a few days because the person forgot.
Because last year we talked about when tit for tat is good in a relationship. So there are times when they do something right that you can turn around and do something right, like giving them tit for tat. Like, you did this for me, so I'm going to do that for you.
Right.
And you did that for me, so I'm going to do that for you. Not that you have to, but make it a game. Make it fun. That's how you really build your spouse, build a relationship, have some fun, help to grow.
Yep.
Like, don't stay stagnant in your relationship. And so, you guys, this is all that we're trying to encourage you to do, is just be there for your spouse, support your spouse, encourage your spouse.
Reaffirm
your spouse.
Affirmation.
Affirmation is so super important.
Because remember, affirmation not only builds them up, it speaks to who you are. It creates something.
Right.
And let me tell you something. If you want to create a better marriage or a better relationship, speak words of affirmation. Speak positive and watch what happens. It'll change the atmosphere in your relationship.
And when you speak encouragement over your spouse and affirmation over your spouse, it'll show them what you treasure about them.
Yep.
It'll show them the things you see in them. It can highlight their positives.
And that's what it's about. Highlighting their positive,
Yep.
not always focusing on the negative. It's highlighting the positives you see in them. And when you stick with the positive, that makes a person positive. Because it says when you're negative, that brings negative energy into the room, into the atmosphere.
Yep.
But when you're positive, it brings that positive energy in.
It also let them show what makes them so special, and it shows them that you see the spiritual side of them. Like, what are some of the spiritual things that we forgot to say that part. We say spiritual lessons over them. But notice, speak the spiritual things that you see in them.
Yep.
Like, if you see their spiritual gifts, speak that over them. That's speaking life over them.
That's right.
Also, when you encourage and affirm your spouse, it lifts them up. Congratulate them.
And that's what you
want.
want.
On some of the little things that they do.
Right. And
that's baby, that was good. Congratulations.
And that's what we talked about with edifying your spouse, lifting them up, encouraging them. And that's Cynthia just said it. When you speak that into them, you're encouraging them. And everyone needs some encouragement sometimes. You can't always be putting people down or just not saying anything at all when you see them trying. That's the thing. When you see people trying to do better, trying to be better, encourage them.
That's right. Think about it when your child draws a picture and they come, Mommy, Daddy, look. And you look at the picture and you have no clue what it is. But
what do you say?
What do you do? What do you say?
Oh, baby, that is nice.
Yeah, that's so pretty. Good job.
You're encouraging your child. So the way you do that is the same in your marriage relationship. Encourage your spouse. Encourage your mate. If you're going to encourage your child and you don't know what picture they drew and it's a bunch of scribble, so to speak, but you're encouraging them and you say you love it, do that with your spouse. So
we have something we want you to do this weekend is we want you to think about the great things in your spouse and speak them out loud to your spouse. Speak anything that you want to bless them with, anything, the spiritual gifts that you see in them. There are other gifts that you see in them. Things you appreciate about them. That they do or do for you or do with you. Anything you appreciate. And see, you may want to write this stuff down because I know it may take some time to think about, okay, let me think about what I really appreciate or what. About my spouse. Right. That's good. Yeah, that is a good idea. Write it down. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because God wants you to enjoy your marriage, y'all. Right. I can't believe someone said to us that they thought that the fun was over. That, what, you think you're supposed to get married and just coexist in the house with another person? Like there's not supposed to be any real unity, no real love and encouragement and support and happiness and joy and fun. That is not true. Nope. God wants you to enjoy your spouse. He wants you to enjoy your marriage. He wants you to have peace in your home, fun in your home. Don't focus on the one thing that isn't right or the one thing that keeps your focus off of all the good. Focus on the good, you guys. That's right. Don't forget your love story. We're going to talk about that in December. We're going to talk about your love story. We're going to talk about the greatest gift that you can give your spouse. The gift of love. Oh, you weren't supposed to tell them that was a secret. Although they should have figured it out. But yeah, so today we want you to declare and decree what you want in your marriage. And we're going to talk about more of that in December. And don't forget during all of this to focus on yourself. Encourage yourself. Think about the things that you see in yourself that you can bring out more, that will help your spouse, and that will help your relationship, that will help your marriage, that will help your home. What you are, you will reap.
Right.
So if you're a negative nanny, the people around you are going to reap negative nanny. That's all they're going to see. But if you're a carefree Cynthia, a joyful James, that's what people are going to get. People get what you reap. But so, you guys, encourage your spouse today. Encourage your spouse. Affirm your spouse today. This weekend, we're going to give you the weekend. Right. Do it this weekend. We want to hear about it next Saturday.
If this is Thanksgiving weekend, you have a lot to be thankful for. Are you thankful for your spouse or your mate?
Yes.
If you are,
I'm so thankful for you, babe.
Thank you, baby. And if you are, speak it.
Yes.
Reaffirm it. Just let them know.
Yes.
All right.
So thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you next month. We got a great topic for you guys. The greatest gift you could ever give. The greatest gifts you could ever give your spouse. But we're going to talk about the greatest gift you could ever give your spouse. And declare and decree what you want in your marriage. We're going to talk about what kind of gifts do you want in your marriage? What other gifts do you want besides the greatest gift? What gifts do you want in your marriage? You know, people don't believe in making lists of what they want for Christmas, their birthday. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I love it. My husband keeps asking me, where's your list for Christmas? Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to him today. I'm giving it to him today. All right, you guys, we love you. God bless you. We'll see you guys next month. I'm so excited. Christmas is coming. Happy Thanksgiving again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hope you're enjoying your family. And stop eating so much. And remember,
come on now.
If you build it, it will last. God bless you guys.
And everything we talk about is building it the correct way. See you next time.